No,
Or an intro
we're
or
not going to
something?
officially start until we get a few viewers.
Yeah,
Can they hear us?
Yes, they can hear us now.
Oh no.
All right. I'm gonna
But
log
so
into the
is-
account on Twitch so I can.
Is Parasite on Phase Black or
Yes
Blood
and
Dog's
no.
team?
There's only Phase.
It's just Phase, but yeah.
But I thought Blood
And
Dog.
no teams. I don't think. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't been following over the last like 24 hours or the last 12 hours maybe. But no, I don't think any team changes have been made official.
The
No,
NV
Jacob did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
But I mean,
has it always
nothing's
been this way?
official until the roster is
you have-
submitted.
Has it always been this way where you have to apply for free agency?
No, this is
No.
a new thing.
It's a mess, honestly.
It's not a mess. It's just that the people don't understand it.
Well, I don't know. The part about how Parasite was basically trying to hold Envy for ransom.
Yeah, but
That's
that's
not-
the
just
dumbest thing he
Parasite.
could possibly do, and it's awful. Like the entire concept is terrible. And
Yep.
like he couldn't hold them for ransom. Like they could literally just either ask Jeremy to apply for free agency and then drop Haggy, or they could have literally just benched him and then basically end his career because he couldn't do anything for a year.
That'd be funny.
Like he's not holding anything hostage.
Yeah, probably true. Do we have any viewers? No, not yet.
He just
I feel-
basically made himself look bad and accomplished nothing.
Pretty
Pretty much.
And I don't like Parasite.
Oh, I love him.
Wait, really?
Yeah, he's awesome to hang out with.
Well, yeah, I guess I don't know him on that level, so
Yeah, that's at the end of the day. Like the spectators only know what they see on stream.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
true. And that's all a persona, and people got to remember that.
Yeah.
Well, why would you want to make your persona out like that?
I mean,
Why would
like,
Aches want to be a dick as his persona?
No, that's the way he really is.
You know, I don't know. He's supposedly pretty nice.
Sometimes.
Crimsic seems like a nice guy.
Dude, Ian is awesome.
Yeah, like
And then, like, I don't know, everyone has a persona. Like, you have to separate your, like, what people perceive you as and what you are. Like, if you don't have that separation, then you get lost in it, and then you just can't, like, your mind can't take it, because then you're just turned on all the time.
Okay, we're starting to get viewers now, so we can kind of start.
did we make a post in the subreddit?
I'm about to. I'm in the middle of submitting it.
I'll link you, Hazard.
What's the stream?
Here you go. I got you in the Skype chat.
You got 10 people. Oh, shit.
Well, it's because I haven't posted the link in the subreddit yet.
Have we tweeted it?
It tweets automatically.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Such keyboard.
Okay, I'm tweeting out the stream.
Oh,
are
yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh, there we go.
That is just a result of my mic being awesome.
Yeah, mine does the same thing when I have it plugged in when I'm actually using my desktop. I retweet.
Well, your guy's name is long as hell. I mean, it's COD Competitive Podcast.
Because COD Competitive was taken, and yeah.
You should have just talked to like Ernie or someone over there and see if they could have given you a thing.
Well, because I didn't. It was kind of like a drop of the hat thing that we started this.
I mean, you could ask them if they could have done like us giving you like /RCCP for COD Competitive Podcast.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that.
And then there's only like 6 people who have a 3-letter Twitch name.
True.
And Ego and Ice and a couple others. Because you can't make a 3-letter name.
You have 13 viewers. Yeah.
I'm gonna go get a bottle of water. I'll be right back.
Okay. So what are we talking about? We have a topic list. A lot of stuff to do with MLG Anaheim. A lot about the roster, or not the roster changes. Well, yeah, the roster changes and the roster rules.
I'm just gonna copy and paste the thing in there.
You're probably gonna get timed out because it's gonna be so long.
Whatever.
Just waiting
Podcast
on a little bit more.
Paste.
It only
Holy
posted
crap.
one line.
Okay, I'm back.
I see the whole thing.
I don't.
It's all
I only
just
see one line.
though.
I only
I see the whole
see.
thing, but it's all just one giant block of text.
I see podcast topics MLG Anaheim. That's it.
That's all I see as well.
Oh,
Poor Hazard.
I'm gonna fix that. Watch this.
Do not post like a billion lines, please.
No. No, I got this. Peace. Click.
Oh, you just Gyazo'd it?
Yep.
Okay. So,
Goddamn Giazzo.
EU Gyazo. That's how we feel too. Okay. So we can start with the topic list.
How do you hate on Gayazo? That's the best thing ever.
You just called it Gyazo. I'm pretty sure that's enough.
That's because that's how you're supposed to pronounce it.
I hate it because when you click on the image, it goes to a download Giazzo.
Yeah. Remember where?
It only does that
where?
if you don't have Gyazo.
Where? No, it doesn't because I have Gyazo and it still does it.
Then you need to update your Gyazo, and
Either way,
it won't do
like-
that anymore.
Think about it this way: we're Reddit mods, which means we think of everything on Reddit terms. When you use a Gyazo link, unless you use the i.gyazo link for an image, it takes you to a web page instead of just the image, so it breaks Reddit enhancement suite.
Blah. Too much Redditing.
Well, I mean, it's kind of our lives at this point.
I'm surprised you didn't bring up Adam's thing that he posted.
What thing?
Oh, yeah,
I
how would
posted
you-
this morning?
Oh, I didn't really see that, honestly.
I posted a big old long thing in there.
Hopefully they
What's
take
your
some feedback and-
Hazard? What's your username on Reddit?
Hazard TV.
Yeah, I'm the one who verified him. A long time ago, he tweeted at me when my at tag was different.
Hold on a sec.
It took me like a month to get verified on there. It was awful.
You asked me, and I did it like 10 minutes later.
It just didn't show up forever. I was like, why do I have a check mark in other places? And
Oh,
Are you using
that
Firefox?
was I fixed that though.
Reddit is love. Reddit is life.
Do you use Firefox or Internet Explorer or some other lesser browser to Chrome?
I use Chrome mostly unless I'm doing something that I don't want other people to know about, and then I use Ice Dragon.
Okay, that's weird because we had an issue where our verification ticks weren't showing up on a Firefox or Internet Explorer there for a while, and I fixed that.
And if you guys don't use Ice Dragon, then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, what is Ice Dragon?
Guessing it's an anonymous browser.
It is a... Here, I'm just going to give you guys a link.
Oh yeah, we can talk about Nade Shot's retiring video too.
This is not a thing that's going to happen, I don't think.
What do you mean? Like we can't talk about
Talk,
it, or he's not going
or-
to retire?
No, you can talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Nade Shot made a video talking about how he was.
He has
possibly
anxiety, and he potentially retire, and he did the same thing last year, too.
Yeah, he does it every year because it gets views.
It's
Well,
not that he
no,
gets
that's
views,
not
it's just he's
gets nervous.
thinking about what he needs to do to progress his life.
That's true.
That's Ice Dragon. If you don't have that, you should have it.
What
A
is
more
it?
secure
What is it?
version of Firefox.
It uses the base Firefox code base to create Komodo Ice Dragon.
All right, let's get started now because we have some viewers.
Hello, viewers.
Hi, viewers. Okay,
What's up?
this is the R Competitive Podcast or the R Codcast. Fun stuff. I'm Bionic Potato. You hear any of these? Well, you'll probably hear Gomlism or Process or P Money. So call me CJ because that's what I go by. Other than that, they'll probably just call me Bionic or something. Okay, Preston,
All right.
go for it.
So before we jump into everything, I would like an explanation of where all of your names came from, especially Gomlism.
Oh, well, I used to make fun of people for all their, like, GB terms and stuff. BK, Scrandy, Gommel, all that stuff. So then it started as a joke, and then it just sort of stuck.
Gotcha.
So then,
what,
yeah.
So
All my
what is it?
branding is now
Get
gone.
on
what
my
about
level.
Bionic Potato?
I've tried to explain this one, and every time I try, it's like a different story. Because I don't really remember entirely. I remember I had a Droid Bionic cell phone at the time, and that
I
was
don't
where the
even know what that
Bionic.
is.
It's a really shitty. It was like the first dual core processor like smartphone,
Oh.
and it was terrible. Had so many issues, but I loved the name of it, so I picked the Bionic, and then just Bionic was taken on Reddit, so I shoved potato at the end.
Well, there you go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then Preston, his is just lame.
Yeah, and
yeah,
then
no.
process. I don't know. I mean, I just like the word process. Nothing more to it. There's like two words that I really like, and that's earth and process. And I don't know. I guess I'm just into words.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I
I'm
just
gonna
like
buy
the
you a
word
dictionary
process.
for Christmas.
Hazard, where did yours come from?
Yeah, where did that?
Mine came from the military. I was pararescueman. I joined the Air Force when I was 17, and then I didn't like basic training, so the Special Forces troops came in and were like, anyone who passes the pass test can start, training with us. And I was like, well, does that mean we get out of basic? And they're like, yeah. So I was really, really, really fit back then. I'm not so much anymore. And I passed the pass test and started training. And then I was a flyer, so everyone gets a call sign, and mine was Hazard because I'm clumsy and fall over things a lot. And when you fall over things like 2,000-pound bombs, it's a hazard.
Okay, so the meaning behind it is that you're a hazard.
Yes.
Okay.
I am hazardous to my own health.
All right. So, Preston, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I mean, introduce myself or explain my name?
Explain your name and that you're now a host.
Yeah. Apparently, I'm a host of this podcast now, since this, what's it slop is always busy with work. And my name, my media tech teacher, just started calling me P Money. He was really lame and gave everyone stupid nicknames. But I made it my Twitter @name when I made a Twitter, and it's my username on everything now, though. So.
Okay. And Matt, you can, or Hazard, whatever you want us to call you, you can introduce yourself.
I'm Hazard. Hi.
You want to talk about like your title, any of that kind of stuff?
Nah, that's at the end of the thing in the list.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. We can go by the list. Then Gomlism's just Gom. He's not exciting at all.
So
Okay. And then Process, you want to tell your little story?
Yeah. So I'm process. I'm just kind of an average 16-year-old. I'm into competitive Call of Duty, and I attended Anaheim. Do you want me to tell the story right now?
If you want to,
Hey,
yeah.
dive into
Yeah.
it. Story
Yeah,
away.
so
I'll get some s'mores and we can have some epic story time.
hey, there we go. But yeah, no. So my mom had cancer probably about like 2 months ago, and she's in remission now, which is good. But she was like really worried about how I was gonna take like her dealing with cancer and how I was gonna deal with her having cancer. So she kind of was like looking for stuff that I could do, and she knew that I was into gaming, so she thought it was a good idea to send me to a a gaming camp, and there aren't any of those. But I was like, no, MLG Anaheim is coming up. So she was like, oh, okay, and she didn't really tell me much more than that. But next thing you know, she emails Katie Goldberg, which is like the PR person for MLG, and like tells her our story, shows pictures of me gaming, and then Katie sends back an email saying that we get like an all-inclusive paid trip to Anaheim with VIP passes and everything. So yeah, I just got down there, had a really, really good time. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Huh.
All right. And then he ran into Matt Ryan Harris, one of our other moderators at
Yeah,
Anaheim.
and that's how I got connected with you, CJ. I
Yeah,
think.
and then Matt was telling me the whole story when like he was on a Skype call with me. We were working on some design stuff, trying to fix something, and then that's when I screwed up the whole comment overlay thing. So sorry about that, guys. But and he told me the whole story, and I was like, that's really freaking cool. And especially since that MLG didn't really say anything about it, they just literally wanted to do something nice.
Yeah,
Well, that was
like-
kind of cool. It's something you don't see very often.
Yeah, and I was kind of surprised that they didn't make a whole thing out of it, and they just let us do our thing, which was cool. It was really fun.
To circle back, Katie is a lot more than just the PR person. She's actually like the senior vice president of communications for MLG. So like anything media related, she's in charge of all the way down the line.
I see. Okay, yeah. See, I didn't quite know that. My bad.
No, it's not your bad. I mean, she doesn't really like publicize. She's very humble.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay, and then we can start talking about the placings and stuff at Anaheim if we want to.
Was
Just-
anybody really surprised?
Yes.
I'm a little salty.
Oh yeah.
Why are you so salty?
I mean, we should have just beat EG. Like, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. You know, we threw a 5-1 lead in search, and then we threw a 30-point lead in Dom. And like, if we had pushed it to the last search in the final series, I'm pretty sure we'd have won that because we're a better search team.
And it
Yeah.
was
The
Octane.
5-1 lead was in the first best of 5 though, right?
It wasn't the first specified, but
So wouldn't that
one
be
thing-
like irrelevant? I
one
mean-
thing you got to understand about OpTic as a team is they're a very emotionally charged team.
Yes.
Right?
Ah,
So
okay. I
when
see.
when they do something like that, like if they would have shut them out at 6-1, that puts everyone on this like really big charge, and they really just start taking over from there. When they're down, it's really hard to get their heads back in focus, and they work hard and communicate to try to like get themselves pumped back up because they are very emotionally charged.
I
To
see.
give them credit, after they did lose that search where EG came back really hard, they still came back and won another game. Usually the old OpTic, they would have been done immediately. That would have been the end
Yeah.
of their tournament. But
Yeah.
they're getting really good at being able to stay focused and come back from hard
That team's
defeats.
good. It's
And-
really good.
You know, one of the biggest misconceptions that people have about this team is Matt's role in it, Nate Shot's role in it. Like, a lot of people don't understand that he really drives that team. Like, he makes most of the decisions in both respawn and search. You know, he's a lot of times you'll see him like get into a gunfight where he's a second behind, and it's not because he's a second behind and he's slow. It's because he was watching the minimap exclusively, trying to call things out to set up plays in the game.
Oh, okay.
The Syndicate Project, we can interact with the chat. What's up?
Yeah, we were planning on it. There's a segment of our topic list where it's interacting with the chat. We just have our topic list we usually go from first.
Mhm.
Okay, fucking buggy Twitch.
So EG won the event. I don't think anyone was surprised with that. Krim played phenomenally, as did
1,000,005.
Scump on
That
OpTic.
was
Holy
crazy.
craps.
Yeah.
Just Crim 6. Oh my god. Every single S&D, like the rest of EG just played like crap. And he would just threw on the backpack and was carrying all of
Well,
them.
I'm not so sure they played like crap. I think a lot of Krim's kills were EG baiting for him, and like he gets the trade. But
Oh, another thing you have to understand is like when a person pulls out like 20 kills in search, there's not a lot of room for other people to get kills at all.
Yeah.
You know, there's not a lot of other deaths taking place.
A lot of whenever you got that game though, I think, or wasn't it a bunch of like 1v3s and 1v2s?
Yeah.
So?
mhm.
Yeah.
So he just kind of ran over him.
What
But
has
throughout the weekend, though, like he was going off in search.
I mean, Ian is just an exemplary player. Like he's a humble dude. He's incredibly funny as a human being, and then he is just a robot when he plays. Like there's no really other way to say that. Like his ability to like look at the map and look what's happening and understand where people are going to be and predict, and then actually have the gun skill to win those gunfights in a head-to-head or even a 2v1. He's basically Krim in this game is Karma from Black Ops 2.
Mhm. That's
he's
hard
one
to
of those players when people criticize Call of Duty and say it doesn't have that high of a skill gap, you just need to point to Krim 6 and just show his stats from every event and show that he is a cut above most players. He really does demonstrate that there is a skill gap in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What did you guys think of Nate Shot's halftime speech?
It hit me in the feels. I even tweeted that. It
Yeah,
was,
it was a little sad.
I
I mean,
was
no
it
I was
was
doubt.
off the
upset they
cuff.
didn't win.
Yeah.
Like that was just straight feels from him. Like that was off the cuff, not scripted. He just spoke.
Yeah, I think somebody in like the comments of the thread that it was posted in was trying to say that it was scripted, and no, not at all.
No,
That
that's just silly.
Yeah, it
But,
sounded really genuine.
There is one criticism I had of MLG. I feel like the cameras or whoever was controlling the cameras was very biased towards OpTic. I understand that they're the most popular team and everything, but they showed, for example, Clay's losing reaction before they showed EG's winning reaction, which
I mean-
I don't know. I think they should be more neutral when it comes to things like that, even if OpTic is the most popular team.
It's not just that they're the most popular team. Like that's just strictly numbers driven from MLG side. You know,
Oh,
if you
yeah.
look at the X Games, right? So the stream going across the X Games. When OpTic played either Nation or Gaming, the numbers doubled and tripled. Like, so they're like, it's their responsibility as broadcasters to, you know, notice that and then give the people who tuned in for that what they want. Now, I agree in the fact that there should be a more equalized camera time for everyone, but one of the big things right now is like competitive esports and COD especially, regardless of how long it's been around, is really in its fledgling stages, right? It's growing very, very fast, and part of that growth is to keep the fans, you know, excited and engaged and wanting to watch. And that's all they're really trying to do. As it continues to mature and grow and everyone's fan base continues to grow, then I'm pretty sure you'll start to see that media coverage spread across to everyone.
Mhm. Yeah.
Those damn fanboy cameramen. Lol.
Well, yeah. There's like I think there was 2 of them that like both got assigned one team.
So
Damn.
who was actually at the event? Process and Hazard, you were there as well, right?
I did not go
Oh,
to Anaheim.
okay.
I was doing
What?
some,
So-
work with Red Bull.
Was
Okay,
I the
so-
only one then? Yeah, I think I was.
Thank you. So, Process, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
During the venue, how were the crowds? How were they in other games? How were they in other series? So on and so forth.
Oh, yeah. First of all, Smash Brothers, they get so hyped. Like they get
yeah.
way too. I mean, it's really cool and it's really fun to watch, but they get really, really excited, which is cool. StarCraft up until like the finale, or the finals, that seemed really, really kind of like slow and not too, I don't know, live. And then Call of Duty, of course, when OpTic would play, you know, when they 3-0'd Envy, that was really, you know, hyped up and live and electric and stuff. But then, like, for every other match, there was a solid turnout, and, you know, you would get people cheering for... A lot of people started to cheer towards the end for TCM whenever they were playing, which was cool. But, yeah, no, Call of Duty had a steady turnout for all the games. And then OpTic, they had even more people. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was well, I keep hearing it float around. I don't know if it's true or not, that was the biggest crowd we ever really had at a COD event.
It was the largest MLG ever.
Had to be, yeah.
And we
it
can
was-
talk about the tournament structure too, because I personally don't like it.
Oh, okay. On that
Oh,
note,
this is a sticky topic.
the fact that the open bracket finals was best of 3 is stupid.
It wasn't. They were best of 5s.
No, it wasn't.
No,
No,
it was
no, no.
best of 5 towards the end at the
Yeah,
start.
No,
That was
no, no,
best
no,
of
talking about
five.
the
You're
finals.
wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong.
Yeah, the open bracket finals was
The
best
only
of
thing
3.
that was best of 5
was?
was the qualifier game.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
that's dumb.
yeah,
the-
that's
Yeah, that
really
is pretty
stupid.
silly.
Yeah, and then they went back to 3s.
Then why would you do that?
I don't know.
I
No,
think
but-
it's because they had 198 teams and they had to get it within a time frame.
But
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it seemed like I watched a lot of open bracket matches, and some of the refs were really, really big pushovers. Like whenever I'm trying to think what team it was, Stunner, I think it was playing. They were really into trying to like tell one of the refs that it should be best of 5 for qualifying for league, and like that ref didn't want any of it. But then when qualifying for league matches started happening, it was originally supposed to be best of 3, but then it changed to best of 5 because one of the refs was a pushover. But I mean, I like the idea that it was best of 5.
Yeah, on something where it matters a lot. Like getting into S3 is very important now, especially.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they made that at least best of 5.
All this being said, you know, Adam App, if you guys don't know, it basically is, I don't know what his exact position is there, but he basically is running operations for the tournament side at MLG. And he's, you know, he posted on the CoDCompetitive Reddit day. He's taking in what the fans and competitors want to see and how they want things to be changed for the 2015 season. Like MLG recognizes the fact that this is young and they're trying to figure it out, and that they need help from people to get ideas to structure it in the fairest, best, most exciting viewed way possible.
Okay. I have no problem with the season, really. It's just, I don't know. I like the big tournaments with the big brackets. That's my only thing. I don't like tournaments that have buys, like, when the pro teams are in it already. It's
Wait,
weird.
what do you mean? Like tournaments that are all one bracket or still have separate brackets?
Think like UMG Niagara, that system, where top open bracket teams go into the pro bracket. I like that system because it's just the classic kind of battle royale style tournament. You get to watch everybody in this huge bracket, and it's not 11 teams or something.
To play devil's advocate, then what would be the point in playing the entire season? Like, shouldn't the teams that spent like hours every day playing this the season 2, and just they would end up, like, if they got beat by someone from the open bracket, it would be pointless. Like, you just spent like months of your life doing nothing.
Well, wouldn't that be like they would still spend the same amount of time playing scrims if there wasn't
but then they could be streaming somewhere else. They could be doing something else. They could do things on their own schedule.
I guess that kind of is a good reason that MLG partnered with UMG, at least because MLG can help run UMG events and make them the big full bracket tournaments, and MLG events can kind of just be the
what I would kind of hope is if they did the finals or the top 4 on LAN and then had a separate tournament with just every single team, including those top 4 teams.
I actually posted a reply to Adam today on what I would like to see personally for the 2015 season. And it's basically, if you look at all esports as a whole, we're trying to do things kind of in our own way and not using what other competitive gaming series and tournament structures have done in the past. If it's really nerdy, and I did a lot of research on it to get to this conclusion, but like if you look at games like trading card games, and the most popular, it's $1 billion game, is Magic the Gathering, and they run multiple series globally. Like they have a quarterly pro tour, they have weekly Grand Prix, which are larger scale that move around the globe, and then they have a weekly open series that people can play in. And those types of ideologies are what we should probably be looking to build our system. One of the biggest complaints for the league is that it's an online play. So if you were to turn around and run a weekly or bi-weekly LAN tournament that was smaller scale, that traveled, from place to place and started, say in Mid-Atlantic, so then you did from city to city in Mid-Atlantic, moving into the South, so that people could actually like win and compete and travel with it. You can grow players, you can grow the community, you can grow teams, and then build an entire point structure around that gets people into like a quarterly invitational, and then you do like twice a year a championship series that's like an MLG style event where it's this huge event with an open bracket for people to play in one thing and the championship bracket for the people who have basically grinded out the season.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not. I could see that happening. I like that idea.
Do we have anything else to talk about Anaheim? Because we've covered most of our topics.
No, it was an overall success, I would say.
The prize pool distribution was a little...
Yeah, I understand the whole like covering costs thing, but when you think about it, someone who literally didn't win it, they could lose every single map they play and still make more than a team in open bracket.
I agree. I think it actually should be that way. That they should get something even if they come in last.
Something, yes, but not the same as the winning.
They spent months playing in that season. They should be compensated for that time.
But so they get open bracket teams.
Some
Open bracket teams spent months playing.
Yeah, but they were playing on their own schedule.
That's
so. About a month ago, I went down to Atlanta to visit the guys at the Curse House, and this is just for you guys to understand like what these guys go through. So I went down there over a 4-day week, and I think it was Memorial Day weekend, and they had league matches, and like we wanted to go out and do things, and these guys literally can't leave because they have league matches and they can't go out and enjoy life. Like it's actually just their job, and they spend 6 to 8 hours just like prepping, getting everyone ready, making sure everyone's fed, and then competing for it to be finished at 1 o'clock in the morning, and then they just they can't go have a personal life at that point. It's more than just
Oh,
hey,
so
we're
so
playing
you're
video.
saying that open bracket teams could, choose to take a day off and then grind the whole other day.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we can move on to MLG's new rules. Yeah, this is going to be fun. Okay.
MLG's new rules were created by the team owners and managers with input from the players, some players.
What are the rules? Let's go over that first.
Okay, so what I'm talking about right now specifically are the free agency rules and the roster change rules, basically. That a team is allowed to drop one player and then the rest have to declare free agency themselves.
And that's designed for players to be able to protect themselves.
Yeah.
Specifically. Like, a team can't go in and qualify and then be like, we don't like this team, and drop all 4 players, keep their league spot, and then pick up 4 new players.
Oh, and also the other part of that is that all the players who qualify for the season get to play in the season, pretty much guaranteed.
Unless they opt out, which 2 people have done.
Oh, yeah, because 2 of them retired, right?
Correct. Or they opted out of being free agents and then opted out of the draft.
Who retired?
I'll pull up the list I have real quick. Hold on.
Who are those 2 people? Do you
Yeah,
know?
that's what I'm trying to figure out.
I don't remember. There's been so much stuff that happened over the last 24 hours.
Well, I
Was
know
one of
that
them Joe?
John and Realize both said that they were, but then
John was joking.
was he? That seemed.
Yeah, no, John was joking.
Oh, huh.
Try to remember. Mud Dog's talking about retiring.
I don't see Eric retiring.
He's a great
Classic,
guy.
yeah. Classic has not given up his free agency.
Yeah.
And Classic has something going on right now that I can't talk about.
That's fine. You don't have to talk about it.
No, I'm responding to YT upcoming.
Oh,
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's one of our COD stats guys. He's a friend. Then
No.
I don't know who else retired. I can't.
Oh, that's right. Vexed and Noxide.
that's
Vexed and
right.
Noxide.
Vexed
Thank
and Noxide.
Thank you, Pie Guy. You're the man.
Classic has something else going on that you guys should probably find out about tomorrow. I believe tomorrow there should be an announcement.
Okay.
Well, we'll be looking forward to that.
All right. There's a little bit of intel if you listen to our podcast.
I can neither confirm or deny anything Legendary Jeff.
That's a good idea
Global
though.
Response. But you guys all read the threads this entire weekend about the flaming that went on towards MLG.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the criticisms of the rules as well?
Well,
Like-
there are flaws in the system, yes, but you can't make a perfect system. That's kind of what it comes down to.
Right,
Like,
and
there
Adam's
needs-
really go ahead.
there needs to be like the whole Parasite thing. Yes, he's an idiot, but he did kind of show that a player can kind of, to a degree, hold the team a little bit ransom.
He really can, and that's
Yeah, I
just
don't
what
think so.
I called Chris and DM'd him and tried to explain this to him. It really, he can make this big public stink over it, but all that does is hurt him. Like, all they had to do was call Study and be like, look, can you declare free agency and we'll help you find a team so that we can drop Haggy and do what we want to do. Boom, that's done. Or they could
Yeah,
have
just bench
dropped
him.
Study and then just benched Chris
Yeah, that's
And
what I said, and everybody
for
was
an
like, no.
entire year, and then his career is actually over.
Does that, when you determine that you're going to bench someone, is that like an owner's decision, or does that come from the players too?
It depends on how the team is managed. You know, some teams, the players basically run who's going to play. Some teams, it comes down to the owners and management.
Okay.
Is Blebdog still associated with Curse at this point?
No, Blebdog sold his shares of Curse and left that organization.
Okay, so he's kind of doing his own thing now.
He purchased the Phase Red slot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does I don't know if we can talk. Does
Is there
anyone know
any-
how much that
Yeah.
was?
That is undisclosed.
Yeah.
Okay. and it'll stay like that, I imagine.
There's no reason for it to come to light. There's just
Correct.
I was thinking of a Reddit Kickstarter to buy the spot
Buy-
ourselves.
That'd be
Put our own
great.
team in there.
That'd be
Oh.
hilarious.
We could get we could always just pull JCap, since he's one of our mods.
We just all sign up for the draft and draft ourselves.
We're not in top 250 pro points. We can't.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask about that. Are pro
I mean-
points relevant anymore?
For
They
the
are for the
draft.
draft, but I foresee them going away next year.
Yeah, they seem kind of irrelevant.
Yeah. Okay, what
So
else?
back to the rules.
Just kind of we can each. Parasite throwing a tantrum. We already covered that.
So with the rules, here's my biggest complaint with the rules, right? And the players. The players don't seem to understand that they have entered into legally binding contracts with companies, right? All of the teams in the league season are actually registered companies. Like they're either LLCs or INCs or MPQ2s or whatever else. And they've entered into legally binding contracts with them. And they've signed things with MLG willy-nilly, right? So like they don't understand what they've signed. They don't understand what rules that they're governed by now. They don't understand what the rules mean to them. They don't understand the bigger picture of what is happening around them because they're focused on one thing. And a lot of them are just really young, right? So it's getting to the point now where players may need to start getting agents to actually go through this stuff with them and know what they're looking at and what they're signing into.
Yep.
Okay, so someone in the chat saying they had a big party on Saturday and Haster was the one who booked the room. Why would you don't drop a player because of something stupid after the event.
I mean, Hastro
yeah, that's what
booked the
Crimsix
room
was talking
because
about.
that's where he was staying
Yeah.
for the event.
Like, Study was not good in respawn. He's not very good.
He just didn't show up for one event, and I think it's because Jeremy's gotten a little bit complacent.
Yeah, no, dude, the young gun can handle it. Like,
oh
don't
God,
worry. I'm kidding.
the young gun crap. It's so old.
How old is he? He's got to be like
He's 19.
19, yeah.
He's like almost my age.
Zuma,
Everybody acts
how
like he's like
old's Zuma?
15.
Zuma's like 17, isn't
He's
he?
18, I think.
Oh, okay.
That's another joke that's gonna die in our subreddit.
That's everybody. No one can just kind of do a joke in our subreddit. They always do it until it's dead.
They overdo it.
Like
and
the
then it's gone.
Crimsix thing, like the what about it works for you? Like people
Downvote
ask that
City.
every single time.
Does anyone think Fizzerp is versatile? Anyone?
Jesus.
Oh, there we go.
So I'm going to give this to Phil. If you look at the X Games, right? You see a lot of smokes being used in search, and then a lot of people rushing the smoke. And that is 100% credit to wager matches and Phil teaching them how to do that to overcome smoke. Fizzard, I don't know if I call him versatile, but he does have some good ideas.
No, he's
Yeah.
versatile, bro.
No, he's the most versatile player.
He's also in Black Ops 2. He was one of the first players to use the TAC as their secondary. He also used that semi-automatic sniper. I can't remember the name.
XP.
There's
SVU.
a lot of things that Fizzerp has done to innovate the metagame, especially in Search and Destroy, all throughout all the CUDs.
Tag 45 is a monster.
I can't remember who said it, but someone said that he was like a top 3 S&D player. Do you believe that?
I believe it.
Yeah.
I don't know about top 3. Top 10?
He
Oh,
has
right.
a lot
So-
of like really gimmicky things he does.
He's very smart in how he plays the game, but his gun skill isn't where it needs to be to really be able to like dominate S&D. And a lot of that's because he wants to play on max sensitivity. I don't know
Yeah.
why. That's his thing.
So you can do 360 no scopes and turn on kids, bruh.
Whatever.
So he
Who
can
did
have cool
who-
highlights.
who did he team with for X Games again? Wasn't it SB?
Yeah.
Curse
Uh,
Orange.
No, it was SB.
No,
it was SB.
It
yeah,
was
and they, like, just-
Oh yeah,
John,
Saint
right?
was on Curse Orange.
There was
Yeah.
Stateville, John, and Spacely.
Yeah, because he filled in
And-
for methods.
to his credit, like that's the best SB had ever done at an event.
Yeah.
Whoa, no.
With
didn't-
having not practiced with him ever.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Another thing you have to consider about Fizzerp is he does not spend as much time as the other players, all the other pro players at respawn games. He spends a lot of his time in search, so it's obvious. Like if you're spending your time 33% split across each game type, and then another player is spending his time like maybe 50% search and 25 the other game types, you're going to get better at that game type than the other pro players.
But here's the thing with that though. Like we all know that search wins tournaments, right? But to get to the point where search is going to win a tournament, you have to win a respawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, over the weekend, I was watching a lot of matches, and search is kind of a toss-up. Like, I don't. At least in the open bracket, any team could take it whenever. Like a lot of them win like 5-5, or like one team would win 6-4. It's not really like there's one absolutely dominant. I mean, OpTic Nation, of course, but I don't.
How do
think
you
they
guys
got the search
how do you guys feel
level.
about the proposed rule change that Aches had, where you have to win search and destroy by 2 rounds instead of 1?
I like it.
I don't see the downside besides like endless search games, which I don't
Yeah.
think happen very
And it'd be
often.
really fun to watch if it was endless.
Yeah, because then every round would be another jaw dropper, I guess, or heart stopper. I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd all be very exciting.
I don't know. It would mean, well, there's a lot of fluky things that can happen to end a search game, which it's kind of weird sometimes.
Wait, I have a question. So you know how they changed it from where wins would carry over? You can have 2 best of 5s now for the finals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happens if OpTic were to win, or if OpTic wins the first series? Or okay, so if both teams were to win 3-2, they would have both the amount of wins. Do you see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, this has happened before. At UMG Chicago, OpTic lost in map score but won the event because they won the second best of 5, and
Right.
that's just the way it's going to go. Like,
Why is that? I mean, I don't think that's fair. I don't know. Is there any reasoning behind that, or no?
It's just what happens when you don't do continuation.
okay,
Yep.
so the reasoning is the whole tournament is best of 5, and the winner bracket team hadn't lost yet, so they deserve 2 chances. They would be
Correct.
knocked into the losers. and then they'll go back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense now.
I
see.
explained that to someone over the weekend, and I don't know. I can see why people have an issue with it because of the fact that 2 teams have already played each other. So it's like, oh, let's just pretend that match didn't happen.
Well,
It's-
now
it's
it
not
being
that.
explained to me.
But I
It
see why
gives
they
them-
do it. It's supposed to
gives
give
them
you a
more of a
second
chance to
chance. It gives you a second chance if you just had something weird go on in the first match or
I see.
something.
Okay, so the alternative would probably be, let's say you have the first series is best of 5, you have your 5 maps drawn out, and let's say EG wins 3-0. The alternative would be it unlocks a best of 7, and EG is up in an extended series, already up 3-0. And it comes down to preference and scheduling and all sorts of things like that. I actually like the extended series for FPS games because there's 11 maps, so if it's a best of 11, then you have to beat them on every map, or at least the majority of maps.
Okay. Yeah.
Which means we'd be stuck playing Octane Dom again. Which I'm not a pro or an OpTic fan, but I hate Octane Dom. Preston can attest to that because I scream whenever it comes up.
Octane Dom is all about positioning.
Yep.
Yep.
We learned
Literally
that.
all
and-
about positioning.
If you can
Like-
give a decent AR shot and you sit up top pawn, you could just kind of keep control.
When Nade came out of that spawn and went towards white, like we knew right there that the game was lost.
Yep.
What's
Like-
white on Octane?
When he went towards the underpass.
Did EG hold the triple cap for the rest of the game?
Pretty much.
Pretty much for the rest of the game.
'Cause they got
And
him in a
he's
spawn
actually the best triple cap team in the game.
Ah.
well, they
The thing
got him in
about
a triple cap and a spawn trap at the same time. So
The
they
thing
were
about
stung.
EG is they know when to triple cap. that's what separates them from most of the other teams. I see a lot of other teams where they will have still 2 up on the other team, or the other team will spawn out and they won't have anyone playing safety on their home flag, and then they'll go for a triple cap and then they'll lose B or they'll lose their home flag. But EG, if you look at the minimap when EG plays, they're always in the perfect position to triple cap, and if they're not, they won't do it.
When you saw OpTic want to play Octane Dom, OpTic didn't want to play Octane Dom. It's a veto system, so
They had
that's
to.
Yeah, they had
they
no
had to
choice.
play Octane Dom.
Because you couldn't play any of the maps from the first series. So.
Right.
What do you guys think about the veto system? Should it stay?
I love
Should
the
it-
veto system.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it makes sense kind of because both teams get a say in what maps they play, what maps they don't play, so you can.
There's strategy involved with it. Like,
Yeah.
if you look at when we 3-0'd Envy and the X Games, right? So a lot of people gave Envy a lot of criticism on the fact that they played OpTic on all the best maps, on all of OpTic's best maps. But if you look at statistics from online play and other events, those are the
Envy's
maps
best
that Envy
too.
is best against OpTic on. OpTic actually had a losing score against them on those maps. So it puts strategy into the decision-making process of, like, it turns it into more than just being gun skill and rotation.
Yeah, that and OpTic had like a mental thing going on with Envy there for a while.
I thought Benson had a really good idea with putting it into the game, like Advanced Warfare, the vetoing.
Yeah.
Did you see that tweet?
Yeah,
That's what
Yeah,
they
I
did
saw
in
that.
Smash. Smash has that.
Yeah, no, that's a really good. And then I think it
So-
was before the. Oh, sorry. No, you go ahead.
Sure. So for the actual game of Call of Duty, would you think that expanding the whole veto system to also include certain equipment and perks? So, for example, one team would veto 2 double nades, one team would veto another thing.
So
It would-
I saw that tweeted. I think Benson actually tweeted that. I think that's an awful idea.
Why
Why?
so? Like,
Why
yeah.
so?
Well, so you have to think of it from the publisher point of view. Like, they don't want anything not being utilized for gameplay, right?
that's true.
And once you start getting into that realm, in order to do that and have everything be available for veto, you'd actually have to just have no bans on anything, and people would have to make their decisions on what they wanted to see in the game. And that ultimately creates a terrible gameplay, because then you have people running like the mid-tier assault rifles, sniper rifles, and things of that nature. So basically you have the FAL again.
Yep.
And it creates, and you have people running, it just creates a terrible environment.
I like the idea. I think it wouldn't work well with Ghosts, and the problem with Call of Duty is the game changes every year. So let's say it worked really well for Advanced Warfare. There's no guarantee it would work for like Black Ops 3 or anything else, so we'd have to go back to different styles of rule sets every year, which
Yeah.
is the reason I don't think it would work.
Although Ghost did do one thing right, and that the one-touch like esports rules, I really do like that.
I'm pretty sure that you'll see that continue.
I mean, there's no reason really not to.
That wasn't necessarily an Infinity Ward thing, so much as an Activision thing.
I figured. Okay, we can move on to team changes now.
Ooh, there we go.
There was a lot of these, and you guys, did I ever link the roster change page I made in the chat?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay, I'll link it. Hold on. Because I made this giant like wiki page of it, so we could actually like keep an eye on all of them. Because I knew Slop Nessie, one of the other mods, was talking to me about how we didn't need to make a wiki page. We could just put all the roster changes in the sidebar, and I just started laughing at him. Because there's no way we could fit all the roster changes in the sidebar, even if we took out everything else.
We actually ran out of room completely on the second day of roster changes, to the point where we had to delete older roster changes to make room for the new roster changes.
It's in the chat now.
Keep in
And-
mind, people, that only one roster change is official.
Yeah.
That's JCap. What? So does that mean that they could turn back on it anytime?
Well,
MLG has to approve roster changes now.
They
Yeah.
have to submit it to
they have to
MLG.
submit it for approval, and
What,
they
so-
have to fall within the rule
Is it
rule
in
scopes.
MLG's hands now, or could, for example,
I don't
someone,
believe
could a player just
I don't believe
dip
most
out?
of them have been given to MLG as far as roster changes.
Do we know anything about MLG's rules on like if they're allowed to just deny like a team change just because they don't want it?
No, MLG can't deny a team change, but what they can do is deny the team from being in the league. So
What?
yeah,
How-
because if the team is not complacent with their rule set, then they would be disqualified.
What?
So what he's trying to
Okay.
say is like if a team doesn't follow the rules, they'll be disqualified from the league, and that boils down to like the whole NB situation. So NB announced that Study and Parasite were gone, and they were picking up Formal and JCap.
Oh.
Well, they can't technically do that because neither one of those players have filed free agency, and they can only drop one player. So if they did that and submitted a roster with those 4 people without having abided by the rules, they could have technically been disqualified.
Oh, okay, I get you. I thought he was saying because what I was asking if MLG has the right to deny roster changes for any reason, and he said, "Oh, they can drop them from the league," and I was really confused.
I'm sure that there are stipulations written in somewhere. I mean, like the rules that were posted are like the baseline rules, but I'm sure there are plenty of secondary and tertiary things written into each one of those rules that are not publicized.
I just want to make sure it doesn't get to the point where MLG can be like, "Oh, I don't think this roster change would be good for us."
Stro didn't break any rules.
He just didn't go about it the right way.
He just publicized something before it was finalized. That's all.
No, the best was when Dito called out Formal. I think it was
that was
Formal.
great.
I liked that.
Wait,
And then they took Parasite back, so that's a thing.
That happened.
They get mad at the guy for sketching on them, and then they take back the guy who sketched on them within 30 minutes.
There's more to that story than most people know. Like, they knew that was a possibility before they even gave him the offer.
Well, yeah.
Like, he told FaZe that he was waiting to hear from Envy.
People were so mad when the Envy took Parasite.
I
remember
honestly
that
feel
day.
like when Parasite went to Envy lost a lot of their fans.
Yeah.
If you look at the flares on the subreddit, which I know is like a really stupid metric to base this on, like the amount of NV flares, that there used to be compared to how many there were when Parasite was on the team, like they decreased like by a lot. I wouldn't even be surprised if they were cut in half.
I mean, realistically, all that team was Cursed Las Vegas plus Merc.
Yeah. Pretty much. I don't know. I mean,
Wait, what? You're talking about the team that was just at Anaheim?
Yes.
yeah.
It's
Nameless Study and Parasite. That was
The old Chris.
yeah.
Oh.
Crusoe.
Oh, yeah, you're right. My bad.
Before because they dropped Study to pick up what, Killa or Miracles or something.
Marcus.
Yeah, Miracles. Yeah, that was. I don't know. Those 3 need to just not team with each other ever again.
Who?
Miracles, Killa, and Parasite.
Well, I don't see Adam and Chris ever teaming ever again. Marcus is so underrated in his play. I think Marcus being Miracles, not Embos. I think he needs to cut the umbilical cord he has with Adam, with Killa.
Because Killa has his moments where he does really well, but he's not as good as he was.
He just doesn't seem that...
He doesn't seem that into it anymore.
I wouldn't say that. He just doesn't seem that... I don't know, focused when it comes... Like, he's focused all the way up to game time, and then it's... Just watching him play, it seems like it's so easy to get into his head.
His trash talking, though. Nothing compares.
What's it feel like to be in season 3? It's pretty cool.
Oh, that was funny.
People.
No, when they were playing Curse Orange, I think that was to get into the league. I don't know, it wasn't. But when they were playing Curse Orange in Open Bracket, Killa said like, who's the youngest on Curse Orange? Is it Attach or who was? Or
I think it was Attach, because I think
yeah.
Attach is younger than Miyagi.
Miyagi
Yeah.
just turned 18, I think.
Killa just says like, this 13-year-old sucks and stands up. It was the best thing. It was so funny.
Killa is interesting.
So what do you guys think about FaZe, Red, and Denial dropping their entire team minus Zuma?
Denial has an interesting.
Zuma's a
squad.
goat. It's so good.
Yeah, he's good, and I don't know. People were. I thought it was funny. One of the casters. I don't know if anyone else knows this, but I run the IRC channels for CoDCompetitive and OpTic Gaming. And when the casters,
Do you have an IRC channel?
we do. We have one. We have an CoDCompetitive one. It's linked in our sidebar.
Wait,
Um,
the OpTic subreddit does too?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on the top of their page, right above where all the post list is.
Whoops.
I run both of those, and I remember when they compared Zuma to Scump a little bit in his playstyle, and the entire chat room just went apey, just pissed. They're talking about how the king was getting compared to Zuma. This little peasant Zuma was getting compared to Scump.
Yeah, Phantom, I understand what you mean. Like, we all understand that he has one event. However, like, you shouldn't just push him down because he had one event. Yeah, he needs to run it back and actually, like, prove that he can continuously perform at that level, you know, that he's consistent. But if he does, that kid is a monster.
So there's two things. I've been hearing a lot of stuff from a lot of pros that, like, even before the tournament, that Zuma was really, really good. But this also is similar to what I heard about Study back in Black Ops 2 towards the beginning of Ghosts. Everyone would say Study's the next big thing.
Well, I mean,
And-
Study in Black Ops 2 Study and Gucci were monsters in Black Ops 2. They were
Yeah.
so underrated, but it's a different game. And that's one of the things that is a pain when you have a new title every year made by a new studio. The games are very different. Like, if you look at Scump prior to this, actually even still in this game, like, Seth performs better at Infinity War games than he does at Treyarch games. He still excels at Treyarch games, but he understands the engine, I think, a little better in the Infinity War titles.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, same goes with Karma, I would say, with Black Ops 2.
Oh yeah, Treyarch. I thought you were saying for Infinity Ward there for a minute.
Oh, yeah, no.
Karma, Karma, people aren't going to see Karma switch roles pretty much entirely. Well, not
Karma-
okay, role. No, the team change kind of affects what he does. Like half the time when Impact was on its downfall, he was going nuts trying to let them keep winning. And then now that he's on EG, he doesn't have to put a backpack on anymore, really at all, because they just kind of take turns. He doesn't have to keep fighting and get a ridiculous number of kills just to keep them in contention.
Ghost is not using a different engine. Ghost is using a revamped engine of the same IW4 engine.
Yep.
The Sledgehammer game, Advanced Warfare, is an entirely new engine built from scratch.
Which I'm really excited for, actually.
Yeah, that'll be really fun.
So is it actually built from scratch? Because
It is built from the ground up.
That's impressive.
because
How long
almost
have they had-
everything is based off the Quake engine, and then they just
There's no Quake code in it at all.
okay.
How long has this engine been in production for?
Sledgehammer's been building this game for, I think, 4 years, 3 or 4 years.
Cool.
Damn.
So it must have been right after MW3 came out.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Have you guys seen the rumors about it being next gen only?
I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be next gen only.
It's not
Yeah,
next
it's
gen
time to
only.
buy an Xbox One.
I thought they were bringing in another developer to, I guess, transfer it to
Port it.
360 and port it over.
I've heard them talking about it having a 360
Kind of what
port.
Titanfall did.
So this is just speculation, right? Microsoft needs to increase sales of the Xbox One.
Well, that's going to happen with Halo.
One of the biggest things they need to do that is to stop backwards porting their major titles. And they know this. They have very, very good marketing teams there. They gave you Ghost on the 360, and Titanfall on the 360 because their launch was so close to the Xbox One launch. I don't foresee major titles being across both platforms. I think you'll have separate major titles on the 360 simply because they have they did that whole thing where they're going to continue the 360 for 5 years, which now a year's gone by, so 4 more years of active publication.
Yeah. I'll look that up real quick because I don't know.
I don't think it's confirmed. I think we're just
I think we're just
speculating.
Yeah. If I had to guess, I would say they design the game for the next gen, and then they just get another company to port it over to the old gen, like they did with Titanfall. I think there's too much.
You can pre-order it for Xbox 360.
Oh, well, there we go. Confirmed.
I just found it on GameStop. There we go. Okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense because there's so many people still.
Yeah.
Until you get like a few years into the newest console.
Yeah. How long after the 360 came out did they stop making games for the original Xbox?
Within the first year, because that Xbox
that was a big change.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big change. I mean, the Xbox One is also a big change.
I mean, you went from Xbox like original standard def potato graphics to full HD. Well, not full HD, but the console was full HD, not the actual games.
At that point, I had a GameCube and nothing with internet.
Yeah. So
I had a PS2 with a network adapter. Yeah.
The gen before this one, which was the PS2 and Xbox original, well, the PS2 won like overwhelmingly. It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
And the last game for that PS2 console, I think, was FIFA 14.
Yeah.
So pretty recently, they stopped supporting it.
They made FIFA 14 for the PS2.
That's what I was just thinking.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is.
Wasn't that was that black or was that the gray one?
The PS2?
Yeah.
It was originally
Oh, that's the black one.
Yeah, it was original.
Then they made a slim version too.
Yeah, I had the
I had the slim version. Oh, yeah. There we go.
I mean, I don't have a PS4 because Microsoft, but I saw
do you have a one hazard?
I had like 5 of them at one point, but
oh wow.
Hey, if you want to get rid of one of those.
Yeah, hey, there we go.
Hey, I only have
do a
one
giveaway
left.
to support the potato.
Attach actually has one of my ones.
Because
but
I couldn't afford one, I remember that.
Yeah. Shh. His mom came and asked me to sign his Xbox One in Anaheim or in Austin. It was kind of cute, but what was I saying? Oh no, I saw the Nintendo PS4.
What? Yeah.
Have you guys not seen this?
No.
Nintendo is allowing the PlayStation to release Mario on PlayStation, like some version of Mario. I think it's a throwback, and the PS4. The actual system is designed to look like the original Nintendo console.
What?
That's gonna be cool.
Oh, I see it. There it is. LA. Here's the title for one of these things. LA Times thinks that Nintendo made the white PS4. It does look like a PS4.
I mean, it is a PS4. It's just the color scheme and the way it's designed is to make it look like the original cartridge Nintendo.
Oh yeah, you're right. It is just they painted the controller and the PS4. That's cool.
I want this. It's a collector's item, and I want this.
I want it.
How much money?
Someone at Sony.
How much money do you think Sony paid to let them use Mario?
I'm pretty sure there was a hefty sum involved in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Had
Okay. Well, we got really derailed from team changes.
Totally derailed.
Do you want to do like
What other team changes were there?
TK, Apathy left.
After they left.
Yeah.
Is that I think that they're gonna suffer from that, in my opinion.
I don't know. It all depends because they were more consistent when they had Theory, and because that team was really based on friendship.
I feel like
also
Neslo is the
didn't
key
really
player.
show-
Yeah.
When did Theory leave?
He left after Champs when they faced Booty.
Apathy also really didn't show up in Anaheim at all.
No. Not at all.
Neither did Gunjar. Neither did.
Well, I mean, they did. Yeah.
I'm really amazed Gunjar didn't leave because that's what I was told really early on was that Gunjar and Apathy both were leaving.
I mean, I don't know what's going to happen there. Like there are still things going on.
Well, yeah, the roster change window isn't over yet.
Correct.
When does it close again?
I don't want to look
first,
it up right now.
It's either the 1st or the 4th.
Something like that.
Probably
One of
next
the two.
Friday. The 4th sounds probably like a good date.
It's because with the new rules, you kind of like they introduced them right in the when everybody thought the free agent window was, so they kind of have to give people a chance to think out what they're doing. If they kept it as Friday, that would have been chaos.
Yes.
Yeah, Jeff. The TK roster with Theory has never placed outside the top 4, and they are on a huge second place run. However, the meta has changed significantly since then, and a lot of other teams have really stepped up their game.
Yeah, I mean they could if they want to keep practicing and try to get back to where they were and kind of try and not morph, but kind of favor the new meta. But
Yep.
it all depends on. I mean, you can't really call it. You have to just wait and watch it.
One thing I worry about is Sharp and Theory are both awful online, and they barely qualified as it is for.
I think that Justin Cosdy is working on something for that.
I'm not surprised. It's about time.
But
What are possible solutions for that?
moving them,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because at this point, it's kind of like for the success of the organization, something's got to change.
that being said, you can really base what TK is going to place on whether or not Haley is currently with or not with Jeremy.
Hey, she's not right now, is she?
She is right now,
I thought they
but
broke up again.
unless that happened since yesterday.
Oh.
But if you look at Austin, they broke up in Austin. And then
Jesus, they're worse than high schoolers.
repeatedly. Yeah, they're way worse than high schoolers. So, will you see me at Gfinity? I don't know yet.
Gfinity will be interesting. Seeing
Wait, real quick, what do you guys think about Mad Cat?
Oh, Dylan is awesome. I love that.
he's
dude.
really crazy.
Yeah, no, despite I mean I know he's a cool dude and stuff like that, but do you think like he'll be able to adapt to
Yeah, absolutely.
You think so? Yeah.
Is he still
I-
playing in
Dylan
season
is-
3?
Yeah, he
Dylan
moved.
is an amazing
Canada.
slayer.
Oh yeah,
He's
I
in-
saw that. I remember seeing that.
Wait, he
I
moved
think
to
he's
Canada?
Yeah, he's moving to
yeah,
Canada
he's
to play
going
in
to
the league.
Alberta.
That's
Creed
cool.
Begins, I was staying in their room with them in Austin, and they most certainly did not get back together there.
Okay. Well, that explains. Well, yeah, that's why Neslo kind of shit the bed at Anaheim then, as their TK player. It's
And
not
Dylan's
TK,
official
that's
translator.
player.
Yeah, Dylan actually needs a translator. I don't know how many of you have actually had a conversation with that guy, but he speaks like Cockney.
Yeah, I've heard him
It's-
on podcasts. It's hard to
it's-
understand him.
It's so hard. And then you get a couple, you get him a little. Never mind.
Never mind.
No, whenever he trash talks people, like almost everybody who gets trash talked by him, they'll reply with like, "I can't even understand you,"
Yeah.
and I don't know. It's funny.
Okay, any more rosters we want to talk about, really? Other than FaZe Black looking basically like SB.
There's Denial, and then
well.
there's
Denial.
also which teams you think got better, which teams you think got worse.
Envy definitely got better, I think.
They kind of went. I don't know.
I don't know. I got to see if JCap needs to continue being. I need to see if he's going to pick up his game.
Yeah, he plays a lot better when he's happy too.
He does. And I know that he really wanted to play with Big Timer, and then Will retired. And then he kind of had a slump. So now that he's with Envy, I want to see how he's going to perform. I love JCap. Like, the dude is awesome. And he's a great player, but he needs to really pick it up.
Yeah, the mods. He's one of our. Well, I mean, he's an honorary mod, kind of. It's like a joke almost. But we have short conversations with him from time to time, and he's a really cool guy.
Any team gets better when Haggy leaves. That's cold.
Nah, I don't know about.
I mean, there is something to say for, like, I feel like when Haggy joins a team, it becomes a top 3 team, and then after one event, they
kinda
just
drop off.
fizzle out, or 1 or 2 events. Like, it happened with Curse LV, it happened with Impact. After a few events, they just, like, the chemistry in that team just ends up getting awful after a few events. They
What a
just
lot of
get sick
people
him.
don't understand about Impact is their winning really had very little to do with Chris. Like, if you actually go and pay attention to what was happening in those games,
Yeah.
basically Karma played the objective and played the anchor roles for Haggy so he could just sit in the back and mailbox.
Yep.
Like, Damon really did everything to make Chris not look terrible.
Dang, Hazard dropping bombs.
I mean, I've said this to Chris to his face.
Okay.
So,
Oh, there you go.
Haggy has the Haggy mentality. Okay. Who
Yeah.
can anchor
who
Damon?
can anchor Damon?
To be fair, I mean, Parasite was talking trash like crazy. That was it. What was that? UMG Atlanta?
Philadelphia. No, Philadelphia. No. It
No, it wasn't.
My bad.
Because
Yeah.
UMG Philly was
No,
on,
that was UMG
Yeah.
Atlanta last year.
and to be fair, he was playing with an Envy team that had no business existing. Like that team should not have been a thing. Just
God,
my
when,
opinion.
When Hastro said during that video, like, see all these fans, they want us to win. That was legendary. That was funny.
I still feel so. All those players kind of got up into that shit talking mode because Adam just like went off on it and like
Oh yeah, that was the
That's
choo-choo
choo-choo train.
Yeah, whoops,
you
I
can
just-
see how awkward Miracles is when he's shit talking because like he's a humble dude and that's not the way he is. So he has like no clue what he's doing in the shit talking realm.
All right. Well, we can go on to questions for Hazard now.
Oh, hi.
What's your title and your responsibilities as far as you want to detail them?
I mean, I guess I just do business dev for OpTic. OpTic's growing and growing and growing, and basically it was just Hector over there. Hex doing everything, and so he kind of had to like give up a lot of his time in being a personality and doing the things that started OpTic, and he wanted to get back to that. So, and it's getting to the point where he needs someone in there that has a stronger business background to help him with things. So I basically come in and help with the marketing, developing the business overall, and then executing on his ideology. Because Hector's a very smart, very creative person, right? But he needs someone to actually take his ideas and turn them into reality. And that's what I do.
Okay. And then
Can I ask him a question? Can I
Go
ask
for
you
it.
a question, Hazard? Oh, what would you say your relationship is like with the players?
I mean,
Yeah.
we're all pretty much friends. Like, I don't know Jordan that well, but other than that, we're all pretty much friends. When the fuck will OpTic get a team in another game? We just started one. It's called Halo.
Hello. Oh, there we go.
And then someone was trying to start a rumor about an OpTic LOL team or something because they
That
didn't OpTic
was-
try to. I meant recently. They
was-
tried to like buy one that was Quantic's team, right, way back when.
It was in the works and it just kind of fell through. We have full intentions of expanding into anything that we need to, right? So OpTic is the entity and we operate based on our competitive teams and delivering media through social media reach and custom video content, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So if we need to expand our reach, then we'll look at expanding into other games.
Is there any games you guys want to push into? Like,
I
know
think
of?
people should. I'm not going to give away anything that we have planned, but
Okay.
I think people should, as a whole and in general, should pay very close attention to Hearthstone.
Exactly. I was gonna say that.
I think people should pay very, very, very close attention to what Blizzard does with Heroes of the Storm, because when Blizzard goes into a market space and they want to take it over, they've got a couple $2 billion of liquid capital and they can do that. What happened to the OpTic website? The OpTic website is in the works. We're actually at the point that we're just filling content into it, and you should see it very shortly.
Do you visit the team house regularly?
I have not even been to the team house once because I live in Washington, D.C., and they live in Chicago.
Oh, hey, I'm a Nationals fan. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Yay, COD-related things.
How
Sorry.
did the 0.1% chance of getting a second team hex change the Optination's back hex?
Because Bose wasn't on OpTic.
Yeah, that basically boils down to Mbos. Like, Marcus is an awesome dude. We all love him. And when the decision was made that he was going to be replaced, we didn't want to hang him out to dry. So instead of doing that, we created a second team for Mbos.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Okay, chat can ask questions they have for Hazard now. Go
Gaming
for it.
F1 team, make it happen. I mean, I'm not going to say that that's something that I can make happen, but the Doge coins did get a NASCAR. So it's something that, and that was based off of our Reddit Doge coins or whatever.
Yeah,
So that's something that you guys can make happen.
that was so cool. Matt and I were talking. Matt Ryan Harris. When I say Matt, not Hazard. We're talking about that when it was going on. I don't know why exactly Matt is such a big fan of the Dogecoin, and the Doge meme in general, but he's obsessed with that. And Canadork knows what I'm talking about because he rants about it weekly. But he was so excited and yelling and screaming about the Dogecoin car. And Gom can probably remember that because he was posting all over the place about it in our Skype chat.
What is Big Timer's role in OpTic as of now? As of today, Big T is just like Midnight. He produces content and is part of the OpTic family. What's going to happen in Advanced Warfare? Well, you'll just have to see what happens from Big T.
Because I thought it was funny. He was wearing an Advanced Warfare shirt in a picture with Nadeshot, and everybody posted that to our subreddit. It's confirmed. He's coming back. He's gonna play. I'm just like, why are you posting this?
Nothing has yet been confirmed, but I will say that Will has made it public that he's considering returning from retirement and has had the itch to play.
Okay. He's got a lot of work to do if he wants to play.
Will I grind Dodo with you and leave LOL?
OpTic IXI confirmed. That's the other thing is that people keep talking about how if IXI they're gonna make OpTic IXI with Big Timer, Rambo, and Sharp, and someone else. That would put OpTic at 3 teams, which would mean one of them is ineligible for the season.
Correct.
I've tried to make that comment to people, and they would figure it out. Or if OpTic wanted a 3rd team, then MLG would make it happen. I was like, no, I don't know about that.
He does produce content in Legendary Jeff. It just may not be content that you consume. Will is really big into playing the stock market right now, and he's having a lot of fun doing that.
Okay, and then he's been back making some videos again.
He is. He made a bunch of videos during the Lonely Survivor, Lonely Island Survivors, and I think they're getting ready to start up a new one.
Yeah.
So there they go.
Okay.
Drop Nation, they won't last until Advanced Warfare. That's yet to be seen.
You can't call it how they'll perform in a game that no one's seen yet.
They did just make Season 3, and super proud of those guys for doing that.
Were you? I don't know. I don't know if you were going to close out the show.
No, we're not done yet.
No, I have
okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh no! Do you want to go?
No, you go first.
Do you know how well OpTic Halo is doing? They're doing pretty well. They haven't really competed in anything major, and they declined to compete in RTX next weekend. So they're getting themselves put together and ready to go for the next Halo games.
Oh no, Keemstar and the OpTic family? Never. I hope.
Never.
He needs to stop being a thing. No.
His channel keeps getting shut down, and he keeps making new ones because he thinks people care.
Okay. I'm sorry, Canadork, if you're in here, but I'm gonna compare you to Keemstar right now.
Good fight.
You kind of are because it's this whole even if no one gives a shit what you have to say, if anyone removes you, it's how dare you silence my opinion? How dare you? Which they're both kind of the same in that aspect.
Because beat someone that's so rude.
Okay, so I have a question for Hazard.
Before we jump into it, what is the mermaid question?
Oh,
I've seen this.
I'm gonna
50
ask
times.
this. I'm going to ask this right now. If you were stranded on an island and you had, there was a mermaid, would you take a top half fish, bottom half human, or top half human, bottom half fish?
I'm gonna go top half human, bottom half fish.
Okay.
It's,
Because I don't need to procreate, and she still has a mouth.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
That's a popular question because Painkiller Already used to ask that at the beginning of every one of their podcasts for their guest of the week for like a year. So
I mean, plus, do you really want to look at a fish face all the time? Like, let's be
nope.
real.
Mermaids
And-
are beautiful.
Would the top or the bottom half determine how long they have to spend time in the water? That's the question.
I'm pretty sure they have to spend time in the water anyway.
Well, I bet you'd think like they'd have to if it's just the bottom half and they can breathe with lungs, they need less time in the water than
Also true, but they probably dry out.
we're
How
making
long
this
are you
way
stranded
too.
on? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Never
we're
mind.
making this way too literal. Any more questions for Hazard from the Twitch chat?
I stopped following anything Fisticuff said about a year ago.
Yeah, he's a troll.
That guy's a
He's-
joke.
He
Like,
makes
he
up
used to be
stuff.
awesome, and then he started raging on everything.
Boss Nasty.
Into a troll.
Oh, other thing, like, I'm sorry to anyone who likes Boss Nasty videos, but if you post those on the sub, like 99% chance they're going to be removed.
Would you rather sit on a cake, eat a dick, or eat a cake and sit on a dick? I'm gonna go with just sit on a cake.
No, it's sit on a cake and eat a dick, or eat a cake and sit on a dick.
Oh, I'm not answering that question. That's disgusting.
Midnight answered it,
Did she really?
Yes,
Well, she's
she
a
did.
chick,
She's
though.
also-
That's also fair to her.
I guess.
Like, she may swing for the other team, but it's less vile.
Okay. Invoke the fifth. All right. What players do you expect the two OpTic teams will draft?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's not something that like
Oh, yeah.
those types of decisions in terms of the roster are not something I'm involved in at all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that
mostly the players and
That
Hex.
comes down to the players. Yeah.
And if Hex probably has final sign off.
Oh yeah, 'cause
Is Nate retiring? I don't know.
they don't have imbos this season for sub.
Oh yeah, they don't.
Nope.
So
Is Embo's gonna be still staying at the house?
I don't see why he wouldn't.
can you update anybody about the new OpTic house? Because that was a very popular topic a few
So
weeks ago.
it's funny. We were down in Austin, and there was a lot of talk of moving the OpTic house to Austin.
Yeah.
The guys wanted it, but they kept saying that they wouldn't do it because they couldn't, leave no man behind, and Hector couldn't move to Austin. He's
Yeah.
got a family there and everything going on. And then we got there to the X Games, and it was 1,000,000 degrees, and all talk of a new house stopped.
Texas
like-
isn't that bad.
Literally stopped because it was 1,000,000 degrees.
You get used to it after a while. CJ
No.
and
Like-
I are both from.
Yeah, both of us are from Texas. Like honestly, 80 degrees outside feels cool to me.
I
Yeah.
left DC, and it was 63 degrees when I got on my plane. I got off the plane in Austin, and it was 104.
Yep.
Yeah. Honestly,
Like,
you get used.
That's
Like
a
I moved.
50-degree temperature difference. You can.
I moved here from Boston, Massachusetts. So like I was used to cold weather.
Ugh.
And I was used to like 60-degree summers, like feeling awesome, whatever. I moved here. I've been here 10 years now. By maybe year 3, I was used to it. Completely, utterly used to it. Like didn't even think about it.
And yeah, precisely.
And you get
That's-
Google Fiber. Just saying.
Do you?
That's
do you
that's
have
the
Google
biggest thing.
Fiber?
Besides
Or Bionic?
They won't.
No,
leak back
I don't
there.
live anywhere it's carried.
No, it wasn't just 1,000,000 degrees. It was 1,000,000,000 degrees, Seedall. It was so hot. I still have a sunburn, and that was like 3 weeks ago.
Really?
Dude, I spent
They
7
really
hours
will.
outside for free press, and I got a sunburn. Well, no one knows what free press is. Free press is like, I was going to compare it to Austin City Limits, but no one knows what Austin City Limits is either.
It's a music festival.
It's a big music festival where in a giant park in Houston, Texas, where you just kind of
like Lollapalooza.
I heard Houston's even worse
What do you mean?
Houston's
in terms
worse
of like
because
temperature
of
and humidity.
the building.
Yeah,
Not the
I've
same.
heard that too.
Tasmo, do you guys know Tasmo from Envy?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He just moved from Houston to Austin, and he said it was like 1,000,000 times better.
It's about the same, honestly.
CJ
They're
and
both
I-
like incredibly landlocked because there's a little bit of background on Preston. Everybody was questioning why Preston's on our podcast, and he's a personal friend of mine. Like we live in the same town most of the year.
He goes to college where I live.
Yeah, so 3 months out of the year I live in Houston. The rest of the time I live in College Station, Texas.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like
I don't know where that is. Texas
It's
is a really
like
big place.
2 hours
just-
northwest.
The house that Johnny built.
Oh God.
Oh,
Man,
he's an OpTic. guy too.
Yeah, is he?
What?
Johnny
Well,
Manziel?
no. Didn't OpTic adopt the whole like cash sign that Johnny Manziel would do?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
So-
that wasn't necessarily
It's not
Optic adopting
his,
it
even.
so much as Fwiz did it, and then when we were on a good run, we started doing it.
Also, that little thing that he was doing is not a Manziel thing. Their running back actually started that. It's called. That's why he always wears the stupid headband that says "Cash Out King" on it.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Once again, way off topic.
All
Would
right,
I
Hazard.
fight you 1v1, no scopes only on Rust, headshots only? No, but I'll fight you at PAX.
Okay, but Hazard, I have a question for you. How did you get into esports, and how did you get into COD specifically?
So I got into esports like a long time ago. I competed and won a world championship in 2002. So that's kind of where I got into esports. I was a big Counter-Strike player, and I played with Team Capital, with Fatality and Shogun. And then that was right after I got out of the military. And then got moved to Korea, and we lived there for 2 years playing for Creative Labs Sound Blaster. And then esports wasn't really a big thing in the US back then. And then I got out of it and kind of like lived my life for about 10 years. And then I came back last year to do a year and a half ago to write content for when we were trying to start up a media side for 360 Icons. Actually, it was last year, right before COD Champs. And I basically just, Emily, I don't know if you guys remember Emily, she used to date Nadeshot, Emily Kate.
Yeah.
Was the director of content for 360 Icons, and she got sick at Champ. So I basically did that all by myself with help from Samantha. She was kind of feeding me scores so I could get those out. And then I was basically, watching streams and writing articles. And then Emily left, and I took over as director of media. After that, brought in a staff, then brought in PJ, took over as director of operations there. 360 Icons folded because of some things with PayPal. And then I went over to Curse for a while, and I worked I managed Team Law Pro, who is currently going to be in relegations for LCS. It's Nijaki's team. I managed them. I had a coach and analyst, and we did all that. And then I left Curse, and I helped with the COD side as well. I helped Blevins a lot. And then I moved over to OpTic about 5 minutes after I left Curse. I left Curse and then called Hector and was like, "Hey, we had spoke in Philadelphia earlier this year, and he told me if I ever wasn't involved with another organization to give him a call. So I did. And we talked some stuff out, and then it's where I am now."
Oh.
That's insane. I never knew you were a Counter-Strike player.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, he played with one of the greatest FPS players of all time.
Yeah, Wendell's a good dude, man. I love that guy. And Shogun's actually still competing in esports. He's doing like fighting games now, and he's at the top, in the top 10 fighting game dudes. Yeah, I don't really follow fighting games, so
I only follow Smash.
I don't either.
and I don't talk to Adam that often. So, and then interesting enough, about 6 months ago, John Wendell, Fatality, actually gave me a call and was like, "Hey," he wanted to get back in and start an esports team. And asked me, he's like, "How volatile are the League of Legends and COD communities?" And then I gave him, some people to follow for COD, and he was like, "No, I'm not getting in this."
A question from Cushy: does OpTic pay you or what?
That's personal question that I'm just gonna let.
Well, he was asking, do they actually pay you at all? Not how much.
I have some deals with OpTic, and technically, if I wanted to, I could not work a regular job anymore.
Okay. Because I wasn't if I was,
What
I
is your
wasn't gonna
regular
ask you.
job?
Yeah.
I'm a
was just
lawyer.
gonna-
Oh,
You're a
sick.
lawyer. Oh, wow.
I do Monday through Friday. Contract law, though. I don't have to go to do trial and shit.
Oh, okay. That's better.
I'm the janitor for the Illuminati. Funny you say that because when I joined OpTic, they found out that I was actually a Freemason,
Oh wow.
and that
Okay.
made
Okay.
the whole Illuminati
Wow, now.
joke 10 times worse because I'm part of Mason's Lodge 1, which was George Washington's lodge.
Oh yeah, you live in DC.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
My daddy is dead.
Oh.
Well, that just took a dark turn.
Yeah, there we
It's okay. It was
Wow.
it was a while ago. Who let the dogs out? I actually did right before this podcast started.
I have to go.
OpTic has an agent. OpTic has several agents. We have a pretty big legal team that takes care of a lot of stuff for us.
That's probably makes sense why OpTic is okay. As far as contracts that the players are signing, they seem to not understand a lot of the things that they're signing. We were talking about that earlier. OpTic, like that explains a lot why Nadeshot at least was so methodical going through the whole Twitch versus MLG thing.
Well, that and I wrote their last contract, so they had to double and triple check anything I wrote.
Yeah, and then, well, although if you ask Canada Work, MLG apparently bought Nadeshot and M3. So,
Did they buy him an N3? They did not buy him an N3. However, jokingly, when we were down in Austin, the Matt Aravello from Loot Crate was like, "Hey, Nadeshot, do you want a Maserati? Because we'll get you one as long as it says Loot Crate on the side."
Jesus, that's a little over the top.
A little bit. I mean, it was obviously in jest, but
Well, yeah.
it was like Nate was just like, "Hell yeah, I drive a Maserati. You can put whatever you want on the side."
He's got his M3 now. That's a nice car.
It is a nice car. I had two M3s and an M5.
Aren't you special?
I mean, I drive a Chevrolet now.
Okay, you're normal again.
Oh, Sparge had a good question.
What's the question?
Is Fwiz involved in OpTic at all? In the OpTic
Fwiz?
organization?
Fwiz and Diesel and OpTic J, Ryan, are still part of the OpTic family, and they do some things from time to time as like consultants.
Oh, okay.
They don't, help in the day-to-day operations because OpTic J is working for Google on the YouTube side, and obviously Diesel and Fwiz are working at MLG, and there's conflict of interest if they were too involved with the OpTic organization. And regardless of what the public perception is in terms of like OpTic being able to tell MLG whatever we want, blah, 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 that's not the way it actually works. And we have gone through lots and lots of tedious and arduous negotiation with MLG. I think one of the things that people see in terms of like what we want to have happen and then MLG actually like working with us on things is the fact that we actually negotiate with them, on a professional level. Whereas some of these teams and organizations just kind of like scream at them, and then that's not negotiating.
Yeah. I mean, OpTic is level-headed. It's the most full organization for just like straight up COD orgs. I don't consider even Curse is still kind of lacking in some aspects, but Curse is a lot bigger of an organization.
They're actually way smaller than us.
Really?
A lot of people don't understand that the Curse teams are not part of Curse as a company.
Oh.
Curse, the teams are owned by a company called Competitive Esports US, and Curse Entertainment is their title sponsor.
Oh, okay.
That's actually only happened last year, though. Steve Aronset, who used to be one of the players for Curse, has a very strong financial management background. Very cool, very smart guy, very business savvy guy. His name is Liquid. League of Legends. He bought that segment of Curse from Curse to create a separate company because Curse was looking to expand and didn't want to put so much emphasis into esports. They wanted to expand further into the broadcast and media side. So he kind of did them a favor and took that from them, but they still have a very, very close relationship with Curse as a company.
That's cool. Oh, and they did Curse Voice recently, I think.
Curse Voice is still a thing, but yeah, that came from Curse Entertainment, the big Curse.
Yeah, I figured. So Curse is basically just a sponsor for the Curse teams now then.
Correct. They're the title sponsor.
Oh, that's interesting. Kind of like
that's
how
why
TCM has Team Cooler Master.
Yeah, if you look at the new Cursed logo and their jerseys, you'll actually see it says Curse Team Esports on it now.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They don't have the... I noticed that. I didn't really think anything of it, but I guess that makes sense. Process, you have anything else to say? You've been talking that much.
Oh no, I mean I'm really interested in the stuff that Hazard is talking about. I mean, yeah, no, I'm just into it.
And then Gom, you're another one of the quieter ones.
Are we wrapping up, or are we asking
Just-
more questions?
I mean,
Every
it's-
time someone mentions Gum, he's like, "Are we done?"
Yeah.
So ready to be done.
One of the things people don't understand about esports, and I'm just going to spit a little bit of knowledge here. 5 years ago, literally 5 years ago, esports from the publicly traded stock aspect, right, company aspect, was worth $165 million total, all of esports in the United States. Today, it's worth $25 billion. That's the fastest growing vector for financial ever.
Wait, can you publicly trade any esports organization?
There are companies involved with esports that are publicly traded.
Like what?
Yeah, I was
Uh,
just about to ask, like what?
Activision, for one,
Oh, okay.
right? There are entities within esports that are publicly traded today, and it totals out to being $25 billion. That's a huge difference, and the scope of the people looking in at esports now is obscene. Like, people have talked with companies like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, McDonald's, Walmart, because this, within 4 or 5 years, maybe not that fast, maybe I'd say probably within 7 to 10 years, you're going to have almost equal viewership watching esports than you do watching the NFL.
Wow, that's crazy.
You know,
Is that-
if you look at the X Games, there were 1.8 million people watching the finals
Really?
because it was televised on ABC.
They were?
Yes.
I didn't
No.
actually know that.
The finals was the last event of the X Games. So since ABC had the time slot, the final match was televised on ABC Sports.
Huh. And Phantom wants to know why OpTic only has 2 sponsors.
OpTic is very, very... we're self-reliant. Like, we don't need to take ingest money from sponsors.
Basically,
So-
they're not denial.
We get. I'm not even gonna get started on Robbie. We don't with sponsors unless it's a product that we feel strongly for and can get behind, and the team and everyone involved wants to be involved with them. And that, Scuff and Astro have been very, very, very close with OpTic for years, and that's why we support them so much. And coming up in the future, you may see some other relationships become public between OpTic and other companies.
And then people always bring up, I don't even know if it's going to bring it up this time, but people always bring up why Red Bull doesn't sponsor teams. That's because Red Bull has noticed that teams don't really stay teams very long at this day and age.
That is a major part of it. Also, Red Bull, other than Nadeshot, and Enable, they don't like to get involved with violence. And
wow, I never knew that.
so, like, these are violent games, Halo, Call of Duty, etc. They don't necessarily want themselves associated with the violent aspect.
Why isn't OpTic sponsored by Jerky XP?
I
Because
talked
Jerky
with-
XP is
I
interesting.
talked with Zach over there. They're a startup company, and we're going to do some talks. See if the guys like the product. No one's actually really tried it yet. So,
One of our guys have.
I tried it as well. They were nice enough to send me a couple of things, and I really like the fire one.
I have to get some of that because I don't know. I have to buy.
I have a question for you, Hazard. With your background in, your legal background, do you ever find yourself getting frustrated with the community where
Have
a
you
lot of people
watched
don't?
me on Twitter?
Well, no,
Yes,
right, but
I have.
Where a lot of people don't understand some of the concepts behind MLG. Do you find yourself getting frustrated a lot with that?
Yes and no. Like, I made the comment the other day. Like Haggy and I argued over Twitter about that whole thing with the rules a lot yesterday.
Saw that.
But also, like, I made a comment yesterday that I think that MLG going into all this should have had like a webinar with all the teams, players, and organizations, and maybe even made it public so that they could explain to them what is actually happening and the ramifications of everything before just doing it. You know, a little more transparency on MLG's side probably would have been better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
I bet you if I said Gomlism's name again, he'd ask if we were done.
Hazard, if someone wanted to get involved with an esports organization, like looking for a career, what would you tell that person? Like, how would someone go about doing that or something?
Look for job postings. Most of the teams and websites like Fnatic, Curse, etc., have job listings on their sites when they have openings. Actually, I don't know if you guys know Osbo. He was a writer for me when I was doing content at Icons before, and I helped him get tied up with Gamma, and he wrote for Gamma Labs for a little while, and then he basically took a year off, and he just messaged me about 2 days ago, and I was basically like, hey, I need to get back involved in this, can you help me out? And I tweeted like Mr. X and was like, hey, can you give this guy a follow and talk to him? EG didn't have any openings at the time, but basically, you just gotta ask around. You might have to start doing volunteer work until you prove yourself, unless you have, a significant resume to back yourself on.
That's what I'm doing right now. Yay.
And then you just kind of build your network from there. Don't be afraid to pay to go to events so that you can actually network with people and meet them face to face. People are a lot more inclined to work with you when they know what you can do, what you can provide, and they've seen you face to face.
Yeah, that's
you're not just a random name on the internet.
I've never really talked about this publicly. It's a really tiny company, AEL. It's the company that's running the 10K in Dallas and next month.
I've seen some
that's kind of what I'm doing.
Tournaments.
I took a volunteer spot and basically am doing that until I can actually work up and show that I'm worth something. It's just kind of like a side hobby, and while I'm going to college.
And then don't burn bridges.
Don't be haggy.
Don't get on Twitter and just be a complete douchebag. Understand that what people are going to look at how you portray yourself publicly, and I'm probably not the best example to follow there because I get heated sometimes and just kind of rant on Twitter. But if you look at Ego garners a lot of respect because he helped build competitive COD. However, Puckett blocked Ego on Twitter because he just rants, and he ranted at Puckett. So now Chris basically said, anytime you want to talk to me, send me an email or text me. That you don't want to burn bridges like that.
People saying I should invite
Hazard's net worth.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna ask that because that's a personal thing.
I'm doing all right.
But it's just you should have just been pulled like a doctor, even be like $100 billion. Will OpTic go to AEL? At this point, we're pretty much sold out of team passes, and OpTic has not bought one. So,
I don't think we buy team passes.
Yeah, that was kind of the only. Well, I'm not going to say that. Never mind, because we're not releasing that. TK is going. Excellence is going. Vex is going. TK, we're actually working with really closely. I'm supposed to be one of the people picking him up from the airport with Alessandro, who's the CEO.
Is that part of the reason why they're your favorite team?
No,
CJ?
they were my favorite team way before that. They've been
So
my
you
favorite
must.
team.
I'd imagine you're pretty happy.
I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Dude, I've fanboyed about it to Preston so many times. I'm excited for that. Sharp is like one of my favorite people on the planet. He's just hilarious.
Magunda.
Yeah.
Sharp is one of my favorite people, and I gotta give that guy a lot of credit. He legitimately has saved my ass in the past, all the way back to when he didn't even know me, and I was just starting out at Icons, and I had Proofy, or not Proofy, aches miss a interview that we were doing for the iconic interview series, and I tweeted out, and then Sharp was like, I can do it, and then he gave me an awesome interview, to the point where all the way up to and I've done some things for him too. Like I've given him, like Anaheim last year, I picked him up at the airport and drove him from LAX to Anaheim. But
It's a big drive. I know
Yeah,
where you're coming from.
it is.
Yeah.
But like even at Austin, I wasn't supposed to go to Austin, but I, kind of got a last minute whim that I wanted to be there because it was such a big event. So I bought a plane ticket last minute for same day flight, jumped on a plane, flew out there, texted Sharp on the way there. I was like, hey, can I sleep on your floor? And he's like, yeah, bro, anything you need. So that dude is legitimately like, I love Sharp, and I think he's completely underrated, and he gets a lot of hate for no reason.
I want to get him on here eventually, just
If
because
you
I
just
think he'd
asked
be
him, he
great.
would do it, and he's hilarious. Like that dude is so funny.
Yeah, at Anaheim, Matt was trying to set up an AMA with him.
I've been trying to set up an AMA with him, and he literally, his response is, I don't know how to even log into Reddit.
Yeah, that's what he told Matt. It was
I mean-
real funny.
I told him, I was like, if you want to just get in a Skype call and I'll transpose answers for you, that's fine. And he's just like, no, that's too much work.
I didn't know how to log into Reddit until like 2 months ago, so I can't fault them on that. It's not the most user-friendly website.
No, it is not. No, it is. We try to fix that ourselves through CSS, and I feel like we've done a kind of a good job with ours because we make everything very pretty and much more user friendly.
It is very pretty. Could you compare the OpTic organization to a top law organization? Sure. OpTic has a larger fan base and reach than TSM.
How big is TH?
If
TSM
the mods
is-
were in a Royal Rumble, who would win? Like I'm assuming they're asking if all the mods were like in a brawl, who would
Slop.
win? Slop. No, just a little bit of like. Out of each of us, Slop and I are 6'3" and 6'8". Matt is
6'8".
yeah.
Crap.
Matt is kind of short and scrawny, and he's also very feminine. If you're watching, Matt, I love you, but you're feminine.
That's funny.
Gwyn is no longer a mod, so I can't compare to him, but I'd kick his ass. Gomlism, I don't actually know anything about Gom. He keeps his personal life very separate, which is unlike the rest of us. We've never even seen what his face looks like.
Do an AMA? I did an
Add me on
AMA.
Snapchat. You didn't?
Oh yeah, you did? I don't remember
Yeah.
that.
I did. It was on the OpTic Reddit.
Oh.
Here is a link to the AMA that I did.
And then we'll get you to do an AMA on COD Competitive eventually, because people are really interested in the business side of COD orgs.
People, and I'm happy to do it because people need to understand the business side a lot better. And the more educated the populace is and the players are and the organizations as a whole are, the better it's going to be for everyone.
Oh.
Because
I forgot. No, I'm not 6'8". Slop is 6'8". Slop Nessie. I forgot. Max is like 17s, and I would just trash that dude. Trash him.
Hazard, I have a question for you.
go ahead.
Outside of OpTic or people on OpTic, do you have anyone else in the community that you would say you have like either the best relationship or a really close relationship with?
Damon.
That's not on
Karma.
OpTic. Karma?
Yeah, Damon.
Why? Why is that? Is it just experience?
I mean, we hang out together. I love the dude. I love Holly too. So I talk to those guys all the time. We game together on like other games, whether they be like League of Legends or Minecraft or whatever. Like, I love Damon to death.
Okay, cool.
About ready to wrap things up here?
Yeah, we're done. We've been on here forever. We've been on here like almost 2 hours, but it went by really quick.
Yeah, it did.
So it was a lot more relaxed. There was, I mean, we when we did go off topic, it was okay. So, okay, Gom, since you've been trying to.
Karma's kid's godfather. I've already told both Damon and Holly that since it's a girl, I call dibs when she turns 18.
Oh Jesus.
Because
Okay.
she is going to be a esports god, and I need to get attached to that.
Okay. All right. Well then, on that note, Gom, you have any closing comments? Since I know you've been itching to for like 45 minutes.
Nothing. Just
You just
everyone
about said, "Are we
subscribe.
done again?"
Everyone just subscribe to the subreddit. Follow us on Twitter.
Yeah.
And you can follow
YouTube.
me personally at Gomlism, or
And
you can check out our YouTube.
our YouTube,
Yeah,
it's Reddit COD Competitive. Like that's the URL for it. It just is COD Competitive. And
yeah.
like,
And if you guys ever want to chat with us, or you need to get in contact with us really quick, just join the IRC. Say our name a few times, and it'll probably ping us, and we'll get to you as soon as possible.
also like my Skype, you can ask like Hazard or Process. I'm not private about that at all. Like I have a separate Skype I use for all this stuff. So if you need me, like L Bionic Potato is my Skype. Like literally, I don't care. Don't hesitate to add me.
Wow, they just told me I got rapey. There was nothing rapey about
There was
that.
nothing rapey about that.
I
It was
just
just
called
creepy
dibs.
and awkward.
I just called dibs. You have to respect dibs. Squirrel.
Squirrel.
Apparently you guys aren't old YouTubers.
No, apparently not.
There was a geek YouTube series where instead of calling dibs, they would call squirrel whenever they saw a girl.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
I can't say I'm familiar with that.
Oh, Sparge. Now there's a warning that goes with that. If you ping me too often in the IRC, I will probably ban you.
Oh wow.
It's just because I like for people who don't know, like I use it's called a bouncer for the IRC, which keeps me connected 24/7. So basically, it'll link to my phone and my laptop and whatever I sign in on.
Okay, before we sign off of here, I have to share this because this is hilarious. It's two things, and they're gonna be gyazos, so I don't want to hear it.
Some gay Ozos.
Yeah. So first is this.
Hold on, gotta ban
Right.
Spargle Stasher from the. Oh, it banned himself. He's good.
This first. So FaZe is releasing a women's like tank top series.
That's cool.
Oh, is that censor? It's gonna be a censor joke.
Yep, it's a censor joke.
It looks
and
like
it's
what he wore at Anaheim.
great. So
that was
read what it says there, and then read that, and it's awesome. I just literally laughed.
It's custom made, right? No,
It
censor's
must be
jersey.
so happy.
Like that. He didn't cut it off, did he? I don't think so.
Who censor? Yeah, Doug cuts his off.
No. I'm saying like
The jersey
that he
that he
got
wore.
was custom made.
No,
I
he
think
cut
it
it
was-
off.
Really? Because
Did
it
he?
looked really good.
No, I think it was custom made.
Like, well, they might have just cut it and sewn the seams up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It's not that hard.
That's funny.
Either way, like that was interesting. I've never seen a sleeveless gaming jersey before.
Sidebar. I would actually really like to see gaming jerseys move away from being
Paintball
glorified
jerseys.
paintball jerseys into something better.
They could do
Like,
so much better
what-
than
what would
paintball
you-
jerseys.
What would you imagine it to be?
So, I had this conversation with Merc and Study and Nameless down in Austin because we were sharing a cab together. And if I were doing it, I would build a jacket or maybe a sleeveless hoodie that had Velcro on it for patches. And then you could sell that, and then you could sell the patches for the fans. So that instead of, if people left or if sponsors changed, instead of them having to dish out all this money to buy new things, you just replace the patch. Just Velcro, pull it off, put a new one on, good to go.
Oh, I forgot to ask, by the way. Does anyone know what the sponsor TK was taping over at X Games was?
Yeah, I
I
was
didn't
gonna
actually
ask
know.
about that. No, I don't know. Like everyone had that.
Why are you laughing at that, Hazard? I feel like
Because
there's a
know
story
I'm
there.
not gonna share.
Why?
Huh?
Probably
Because-
Audio Technica, honestly.
No, Audio Technica is still their sponsor. If you go back and look at their sponsors,
But I'm lazy. But I'm lazy.
it may or may not involve chewing gum.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
thought it was the gum company. I saw when I was at X Games, I was sitting behind. I think Chaos Silencer's son. That was with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his tape was halfway off.
Where can I buy Nike OpTic gear? We sold the jackets at Anaheim, and I think so. Pete runs the MLG store, and
Yeah, we know.
he is in the process of moving their entire inventory and office for the store from New York to Ohio. and he'll be online. I think either the second or third week of July, and I'm pretty sure that they will be offered on the store at that time. Online.
People do not like the Velcro idea.
Oh,
Well, they're idiots.
I mean, they'll look a lot different, but as long as they're done right, it wouldn't be that bad.
I mean, you do it like a bomber jacket.
Yeah, basically, kind of like how they do the Astro flak jackets,
Yeah, but I'm not.
but not
I'm not
the
a
same
big
way.
fan of how they're set up on where the Velcro patches are on the, and then like I think you should have different size patches. So like on the back, you can have a larger patch for so it looks better.
Yeah,
And if you really wanted to, you could just sew it on. And
Yeah,
then,
that's true.
It's more NFL style where they have the sewn on numbers. That's just
no one complains about that.
my thought.
Okay, we went from ending to like another 25 minutes.
And whatever, they wanted us to go for the full 2 hours, so we're just trying to stretch it
All
out.
right, we can go for another 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Cut off hoodie might not be the greatest thing on planet Earth. That was just an idea I spitballed.
Yes,
Man,
it's good for Skechers. No, that wouldn't really help Skechers if the thing is still designed for a team and just the sponsors are patches.
OpTic shape ups.
Wow.
That's where you got to go. Right there.
make sure everyone has a tight ass. I'm sure Flamesword would very much appreciate it.
Oh, Preston. We have to show him the poll we did. So during Anaheim, Preston and I got really bored, and we were in a mumble chat with one of our friends. He's one of the old mods from the sub. His name's Gwyn. And Gwyn made a comment about how he would go gay for Proofy.
I mean,
And
I
we
think there are
started
a lot of
deciding-
people who would do that for.
We decided we were going to do a poll for who the sexiest OpTic member was,
The chat.
Oh Lord,
and it got like 1,200 votes.
I'm gonna vote. Yep, I voted Proofy too.
Everyone voted for
How did Miracles get so low on the list?
I don't know, dude. Killa was. I mean,
And Embo's so low on the list. Killa has to be trolling.
Oh,
no.
yeah, I was at Anaheim, and the dude who commented about Embo's smelling fantastic, he does smell really good.
Embo takes very good care of himself.
Okay.
Well, no, like, I don't know. Did you guys see that comment or no?
Yes, I did.
It's something to.
Apparently, that is a serious
It's a
poll.
very
We should have put Hazard on that vote.
We didn't
Should've.
put players.
Hector's not on there either.
Yeah,
He's
we
not a
didn't
player.
players.
I'm
We
also
just-
not a player. Hector's not a player.
We decided for each event though we're gonna do that, and we're gonna make who's the hottest player on X team just for the fun of it.
Hottest OpTic player would either be Jewel or Ashley.
Well,
Is-
yeah, because
Wait, is that actually OpTic Midnight? Oh.
Ashley's
whatever-
Midnight and Jewel is Jewel. Megan is Jewel.
Whatever happened to Blondie? She was.
was she ever an OpTic?
Yeah, she was.
A lot of people
Remember, only they dropped
know,
the entire like the OpTic
left
sniping
when
stuff.
the sniping team was
Oh,
disbanded.
yeah, that's
Pretty
right.
much like Predator and Apostle and all those guys are gone. Like it's just pretty much Jewel and Midnight.
Oh, thank you, Legitimate Rage. That's not rapey at all.
What did he say?
Hazard calls. Wait, what? Hazard calls Killa ugly. Oh, I'd fuck Hazard. There it is.
Who's the hottest e-girl? I am not going to answer that question because I know a lot of the e-girls, and that's just going to get me in trouble.
All right. Well, we need to. This is getting out of hand. We need to end this, so it's going to take me like 5 hours to upload the VOD of it.
I mean, you don't. Let's be real. Like you gotta learn the times that things have to go online, and when you have to do the 5 steps. We'll educate you.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, I've gotten okay at it. It's just the data limit at my parents' house. I've hit it twice now.
When is the OpTic Nation YouTube coming back? That's a very good question. As soon as we can develop content for it that is engaging and enticing, that Hector wants to do. That's the hiccup there. Like, Hector doesn't want anything going on that channel that isn't thought-provoking and pushing the envelope of what YouTube is. And because so much has been done on YouTube, it's a lot of creative work going into what will be there.
All right, it's time to wrap it up.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Like, it was
Thanks
fun.
for coming.
Yeah, no,
Hazard,
thank you.
big thank you to coming on here. This was
Hey.
great.
No problem, man. I appreciate
And
it.
no, thanks
The
for
invite.
having me on.
And-
I'm glad I got to share my
and-
story. And
Yeah, I wanted you on here because I thought it was a cool idea.
yeah, no, this has overall been a really great experience. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, and if you need anything, man, you got my Skype, you got my gamer tag. Just let me know.
Yeah, and I'll probably, if you don't mind, I'll play with you and Preston.
yeah.
In the
Sounds good.
future.
Probably play tonight, honestly.
Yeah, for
There
sure.
needs to be a regular host. I don't know. This is a 2-hour thing every week. That's a lot.
It's actually supposed to be an hour. Oops. But
Well-
Hazard, actually, people didn't know. Hazard volunteered for this. Like, I didn't
did.
ask him. Like,
I
he
did volunteer.
volunteered.
Well, you sent me a request one time a while back when I was like, "Oh, Revan's going to be on a podcast." And you're like, "You can come on anytime you want." And I was
Cool.
like, "Oh, cool."
Well,
I'll do it.
you when I did that first, you actually said, "Ooh, a podcast I want to play."
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
that was the first thing, and I was like, "Oh,
I mean,
you want to be on it? That's fine."
I was joking when I said that, but
Oh. That's
I was just
different.
messing with Revan, but then then you sent me you asked me if I wanted to be on here, and I thought it was a cool and fun thing to do, and I like talking to the community, and I had a good time. So it all worked out to be very good.
All right, see everybody on the subreddit. I'll try to get the VOD up as fast as possible, but it's going to take a little bit to render. It'll be better
bet.
than last time, which is like 2 days, though.
You guys should all ping him on IRC for Hazard for Mod on the subreddit. Let's go.
No. Hey, shut up, Sparge. I actually did choke that ISND because my internet was bad. I was lagging really bad that day. Shut up. Okay, we're done, though. Preston, you got anything you want to say?
Bye.
Can I give you a recommendation for a guest?
Sure.
Diesel.
Yeah, let's do that.
Like, no, not like Diesel, like Jared Diesel.
Oh.
Like,
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
it's Diesel.
It's Diesel, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The turmoil that will cause would be hilarious. I would totally watch that.
All right. I want to get sharp on here. Like, that's my goal for the next week.
I'll text Brandon and ask him if he can do it.
Thanks, man. That'd be a big help.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's do this.
No problem, brother.
Bye.
All right. Well, we're gonna end the stream now
Bye.
because
Yeah,
reasons.
bye, everybody.